looks great. Animal Crossing New Horizons is almost here. You could say it's on the horizon. I mean, at the time of recording this video, we are just over a month and a half away from the release of this game, and if you haven't already noticed by my Twitter, which you really should give a little follow, I'm going crazy over this wait. In fact, I've slowly been going mad since that E3 announcement. But in this video, I want to go over 3 main things. First of all, Animal Crossing's initial appeal that's made it one of Nintendo's most beloved franchises, the waits that the community has had to endure since the mid-2010s, and finally my own predictions for Animal Crossing New Horizons because, you know, why not? Let's get into it. Occasionally, when I'm talking to my sister about Animal Crossing, my dad will sometimes ask us, what's the big deal about Animal Crossing? And I see that sort of same thing being asked online. And you know, I'm not saucy or anything, I get it, it's a valid question. For some, the concept of a life simulator game is pointless. Why would you want to lead a life in a video game when you already have one in real life that's equally as boring? Well, the way I see it is that just like any other video game, life simulators also give you an escape from real life. I mean, sure, you're living a mundane life, but it's not that mundane at the same time, because it's a different life to the one you're living in real life. In Animal Crossing, I guess going by New Leaf, you are in charge of a town. You are solely responsible for how the town looks and the developments that are made in the high streets. You are indebted to Tom Nook, but at least you can build a fancy looking house that you probably can't make in real life. And just like any other beloved game, there are characters and villagers that you meet that you will eventually come to absolutely love, until they rip your heart out by moving away, even though you begged them to stay. Blue Bear, I'm looking at you, girl. And then, of course, you have the nostalgia factor for some players who have played the franchise since they were little kids, myself included. To me, it's really interesting to see the changes that have been made to each game. Going from Wild World to City Folk, the city elements was a game changer, and seeing that being developed more in New Leaf was really crazy to me. And as well as being able to be the mayor rather than just a villager was also an iconic touch. I don't really have that much to say about the GameCube version since I only just got it like a few weeks ago, so don't cancel me, GameCube stans. I'm still giving it a chance here. So after the release of New Leaf in 2012, Animal Crossing went into a kind of a weird phase of releasing spin-off games, which hadn't really been seen before from the franchise. In fact, it low-key surprised me that a mainline game never came out for the Wii U. We got Amiibo Festival though, but that's all I'll say about that. We got Amiibo Festival. Nonetheless, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer came out for the 3DS in 2015 and was honestly a cute little game to test your creativity by giving you the freedom to design rooms and public buildings. The concept wasn't that exciting, hence why I put off playing it forever, but once I actually caved, I really got into the game and had a lot of fun playing it despite it not being a mainline game. But at the end of the day, that's all that was, a spin-off. Animal Crossing's spin-off era lasted forever, even in 2017 with the release of Pocket Camp for mobile. Some people weren't a fan of it, but I personally played it a lot, but more as an on and off sort of thing. The premise was that you're in charge of your own campsite. It's like a baser New Leaf, but with islands to travel to and stuff. And microtransactions, but really, what can you expect from apps like this? These sort of apps thrive off of the impatience of their consumers by making something that can be done for free a paid thing in exchange for having that certain thing done instantly. That's business, kids. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But back on track. The spin-off era lasted for over 5 years, which understandably made Animal Crossing fans slowly start to starve for a new mainline game. Hence, when the Nintendo Switch came out and subsequent Nintendo Directs were announced, Animal Crossing fans would flock to their amiibos and pray for even a slither of information for a new mainline game on the Switch. Come to the present day where we've surpassed the initial date for release, and we've got a bucket ton of new information. Like how we know that we're kickstarting our own desert island, and more character customization, and that animals can wear more than just tank tops, and stairs. There are still a lot of unknowns about this game, which probably, in my eyes, means there's probably a lot of content that Nintendo doesn't want to spoil. I mean, why else would we be a month away from release and still have so many ambiguities and questions about this game? Even before February, when small bits of information and promotional posters started to pour in, the Animal Crossing community was searching for the smallest pieces of scraps regarding New Horizons, because Nintendo just weren't releasing anything. Of course, with the new Animal Crossing themed Nintendo Switch that's come out, there has not been a day that's gone by where I haven't heard of a new piece of merchandise that comes out in a different country, or just any sort of new piece of information that the community has discovered. But the community does still nitpick a lot for information, and you can't blame them. I mean, how many fandoms do you know that get excited over the fact that we get characters with kneecaps and belly buttons and button noses? It's so wholesome. The wait for the mainline game has been long and agonising, so you can't blame the community for going a bit crazy over these sort of cute little features. Do my opinions count? Probably not. I have 200 subs, but I might as well throw my 2 cents in there anyway. First of all, I want to compare the Desert Islands sort of theme and Pocket Camp. Now, I saw Pocket Camp as a testing ground for New Horizons, which is why they had the crafting element and the ability to travel to different islands for different purposes. It really makes sense to have a completely customizable island for ourselves, like almost having the ability to craft our own utopian society, but obviously in a more Animal Crossing way. And then the ability to travel to other islands to use features like shops and the museum and all those other sort of things. Just like in New Leaf and City Folk, how all the shops were in the main high street, I think New Horizons is going to take it a step further by making your islands completely your own while having, those standard shops like Able Sisters and Tom Nook's and, those sort of features, they will be on a separate island. Or maybe they might have their own islands, but I'm leaning more towards, a whole new island with multiple shops on it. And if that's the case, then maybe we're going to be responsible for building that island up as well. Or, alternatively, that might be Isabel's job.